Representative Paulina Luna of Florida stated on X yesterday, "I have an announcement next week that will impact the entire nation. Press conference date will be announced soon." There's reason to believe she's likely referencing something UFO related. For example, Representative Jared Moskowitz of Florida responded with, "I know." Now, while Rep. Moskowitz and Rep. Luna might not agree on many issues coming from different sides of the aisle, they are both staunch supporters of UFO transparency. Additionally, James Fox commented on Luna's statement saying, "This could get interesting." I doubt Fox would have said that without some insider information pointing toward UFOs. DailyMail.com later followed up with Rep. Moskowitz's comment asking if Luna's statement was about UFO disclosure. He replied he didn't want to get ahead of her. If it wasn't about UFOs, it seems to me that Rep. Moskowitz would have simply said so. Now, UAP Juan had an interesting response to what Representative Paulina Luna said. To reiterate, she said, "I have an announcement next week that will impact the entire nation. Press conference date will be announced soon." UAP Juan responded, "If it was related to UAP disclosure, it would have a worldwide impact. Therefore, this is not related to UAP disclosure. Please work on UAP disclosure. It is imperative." And I agree with UAP Juan that it is imperative, but I do lean toward she's referencing UAP issue, and that the only reason she said impact the entire nation is because it's a matter of speech. She's emphasizing her role as part of the American government personnel and something that the American government is going to do. She wasn't necessarily implying that it's an issue exclusively relevant to the United States, in my opinion. Now, to be honest, I don't know what her announcement next week is that will impact the entire nation. But what I will say is that the combination of Representative Moskowitz saying, "I know," him being asked if what she's referring to is UAP related, and him saying, "I don't want to get ahead of what she's getting at." And then finally, James Fox saying this could get interesting, all leads me to lean in the direction that it is UAP related. Could it be the announcement of a UAP select committee where they can subpoena people and question them under oath? Could it be the announcement of an upcoming UAP hearing or the announcement of a UAP czar or something else? I don't know. But in that light, it obviously will involve the Trump administration in some way, regardless of what the announcement is. And in that light, I'd like to share a clip from Jesse Michaels' recent interview with UFO whistleblower Jake Barber.
Who should Trump empower? You know, there are talks of a UAP czar. Should somebody be in charge here?
First of all, I love the idea of Tulsi Gabbard as DNI. Kash Patel's fantastic. Like, it's really exciting. I mean, people can say what they want about Trump, but the people he's surrounding himself with and what their intentions seem to be are really encouraging. And if you need a guy to clean house, like, dude, all he needs to do is, if he could just give Dave a hunting license to go after those who might have something to share, like, it would clear up a lot. Like Dave Grush.
Dave Grush would legitimately be an amazing UAP czar. I think Lou Elizondo would do a very good job as well. I do hope the Trump administration implements a UAP czar because we need to put as much pressure on the UFO gatekeepers as possible to desist from covering up whatever it is they're covering up, and many people have different opinions about that. Now, during the Senate confirmation hearing, Tulsi Gabbard brought up UFOs without being asked about them at all.
In my meetings that I've had with many of you, you expressed bipartisan frustration about recent intelligence failures as well as the lack of responsiveness to your requests for information. whether it's the surprise October 7th Hamas terrorist attack, to the sudden takeover of Syria by Islamist extremists, failures to identify the source of COVID, anomalous health incidents, UAPs, drones, and more. If confirmed, I look forward to working with you to address these issues.
And as it turns out today, Tulsi Gabbard passed the Senate committee vote, paving the way to DNI confirmation. So it appears she's likely to become the Director of National Intelligence. In the following clip from the show, Podcast UFO Live Shows with Martin Willis, Lou Elizondo goes into what might happen from the Trump administration in the early weeks of him taking office. And this clip was from January 21st, 2025.
I think within the first very few weeks, maybe the very first few days, you might start seeing some new executive orders coming out from the White House related to this topic. You might start seeing some policy decisions. You might start seeing some individuals on the National Security Council who may have had tangentially been involved in this topic back when they were working, I don't know, maybe in Congress, working as a senior staffer for somebody. So there's a lot happening behind the scenes. And I'm very encouraged by that.
To add to what Lou Elizondo has just stated, I'm going to read to you what someone very close to the topic who has great sources conveyed. I had it all rewritten so that it's like more of like a paraphrasing or a summary. But this is what this person stated, and I quote, "As many of you know, we're currently in a period of significant turmoil, regardless of your stance on Trump. Trump and Elon are now targeting the bureaucracy and addressing long-standing grievances. This move is also an effort to eliminate inefficiencies and root out corruption within the system. Intentional or not, this wave of disruption might have consequences for UAP matters, potentially shifting funding away from disinformation and questionable programs. Additionally, Trump has established a sovereign wealth fund. In effect, this could bypass traditional eminent domain practices, suggesting that the unveiling of new technology might evolve into a private-public partnership. At the moment, it's a wait-and-see situation. A new narrative might be emerging before our eyes, or it could fizzle out. I've heard that despite last week's New Jersey drones debacle at the White House, behind-the-scenes developments remain positive, and there's even talk of a potential UAP czar. For now, we just need to watch and see where these systemic shifts lead us." So maybe that's what Representative Luna is hinting toward next week, the announcement of a new UAP czar, but we'll have to find out as time progresses. On February 3rd, it was revealed that there exists a secret UFO working group within the FBI. News Nation covered it.
For the first time ever, details coming to light about a secret FBI working group that allegedly investigates unidentified aerial phenomena, or also known as UAPs, UFOs. It's the first time that the group has ever been publicly disclosed, according to Politico.
The founder of Americans for Safe Aerospace, Ryan Graves, goes into what this working group encompasses.
These agents have taken upon this responsibility as a part of a bottoms-up approach in order to understand what potential illegalities might be occurring with objects that are operating within our airspace that we're not properly tracking or mitigating.
Ryan Graves further explained that this working group, this UFO working group in the FBI, emerged in about 2020. And Americans for Safe Aerospace, that the organization Ryan Graves founded, they have been engaged with this FBI working group for about a year and a half. Now, interestingly, on January 27th, journalist Ross Coulthart seemed to allude potentially to this working group, and we'll discuss it after this clip.
I am aware of an ongoing secret FBI investigation, which is investigating not only the drones, but also some of the allegations behind the UAP retrieval program. Yes, if I was private aerospace or people in the intelligence community who are doing this illegal work, I would be very, very nervous. I would be thinking about my options right now. If I was, say, somebody in a senior level in private aerospace who was approached by Jake Barber and his team and told that they were thinking of taking this issue to the appropriate authorities, I would be looking at my options right now. I really would. Yes, the further answer to the question is I have been in touch with multiple people in the federal government, in investigative agencies, and also senators and Congress people and people who are in the senior levels of the Trump administration. There is ongoing communication right now. Yes, believe me.
On some level, it really does feel like the cover-up is unraveling. I mean, we just had Jake Barber come forward, highly credentialed, doesn't give off vibes of lying or LARPing, and claims that he was a first-hand, boots on the ground, involved in retrievals of non-human intelligence craft. I know that James Iandoli conveyed that he brought the conversation along another 15, 20 years because of how it's getting into a more consciousness-focused arena. And of course, Jake Barber was corroborated by 3 other Special Forces operators, retired, but still highly credible people. So we've been wanting firsthand witnesses, and now we have them. And it feels like we're going to get more firsthand witnesses. And then I've heard that Dan Farr's upcoming documentary is so impressive, credible, and disruptive that it's almost like disclosure itself. I think there's something like 37 government officials that are going to be in that film, including former DNI Jim Clapper. And so let's get back to what journalist Ross Coulthart just stated to reiterate and to discuss it further. He said, "I am aware of an ongoing secret FBI investigation, investigating not only the drones, but also some of the allegations behind the UAP retrieval program." He goes on to say, "If I was private aerospace or people in the intelligence community who are doing this illegal work, I would be very nervous thinking about my options right now." So I think it's highly likely that Ross is speaking about the same FBI secret group that Ryan Graves alleges he's been in contact with for a year and a half. And so if they're looking into the crash retrieval program, obviously that's going to make it more difficult for the cover-up to persist. Future hearings are going to make it more difficult. More whistleblowers coming forward is also going to make it more difficult. You almost have to wonder, at some point, are we going to reach a tipping point where there's really nothing that can be done to stop transparency from unfolding in this alleged 70-plus year cover-up from coming to an end? Now, in the following clip, firsthand UFO whistleblower Jake Barber talks about how the dynamics are shifting within the organizations that are behind the secrecy.
We're trying to figure out which side of this issue to be on. And one of the things I feel extremely fortunate about in this moment right now is that the majority of the good guys have moved to this side. I mean, thanks to people like David Grush, who stuck his neck out and blazed the initial trail for disclosure and took a lot of crap for doing so, and I'm sure he thinks made a lot of mistakes and could have done things better, but he's made it much easier and a much better environment for us to come forward. And it's much more obvious that the bad guys are weaning in number and they're doomed, and our numbers are growing. But
so we're only in the beginning of the second month of 2025. We just had a first-hand whistleblower come forward, corroborated by 3 other individuals, all special forces, highly credible. And more whistleblowers, I'm sure, will come forward. More hearings will occur. So there's reason to be optimistic that we will continue to progress, to get answers and to put an end to what I believe are lies and obfuscation by the U.S. government and other entities. Please do not forget to subscribe. If you'd like to support this channel, you can check out my merch shop where I sell t-shirts. You become a patron. You become a YouTube member. You can give me a one-time donation. All those potentialities can be accessed in the description box below. Or you can just solid like on this bad boy, and I'll appreciate it so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Special thanks to all YouTube members, patrons, those that have bought merch, those that have given me a one-time donation. I couldn't do it without you. Thank you so much. See you in the next episode.